Welcome back to another Sunday drive. Yes, we are door knocking, and yes, I did it on Saturday. I was just so busy that I didn't actually make a video. I was going from place to place to place, banging them out. So I just wanted to not miss my, not go the wrong way. I just wanted to let you guys know that I had a very profound 7-minute conversation with a gentleman that has an estimated portfolio, and this is according to PropStream, I looked him up, estimated portfolio of $70 million. And his last name is truly Diamond. So I wanted to tell you guys what I got from that conversation. It's rare that you can ever get somebody with that type of like net worth, his net worth isn't 70 million. It was probably like 20 or 30 million. But the portfolio size, right? $70 million worth of real estate with a net worth of, 20 to 30 million. And these are just estimates, right? This is based off of PropStream. He could have other entities and other things, and not just the real estate, not talking about cash or other stocks or crypto or whatever, right? That's just the real estate. So the 7 minutes that I had with him really, really made me feel good inside. It made me feel that I was, in fact, doing the right thing. He said, now is a great time to buy if you can find a motivated seller. He said, because it's so difficult, because of the interest rates, because of the environment, because of whatever, because it's so difficult for buyers to buy, you have less competition, which is great, right? Everybody remembers 2020, 2021, where everybody bidding war left and right, $100,000 over asking. And this is just on the residential stuff, right? No inspections, no contingencies, all in, right? Everybody's pushing all in on this. You had 10 plus people competing against you at every house. And that's just the on-market retail stuff, right? Even if we're talking about buying from wholesalers, right? Let's say you're a wholesaler, let's say that you're a flipper or whatever, right? You had all kinds of competition. You were fighting other wholesalers trying to get a deal. When you did get a deal, all these flippers had to fight each other to get the deal. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Anything to do with real estate, it was just crazy, right? And he said, Brandon, it's good that you're making these calls now, because if you can find something that makes sense and somebody needs to sell, this is the time where you can beat them up, because they don't have a lot of options, right? There's not a lot of people banging people's door down looking to give them above market. Not even at market, really, right? Because like interest rates, right, are just killing people. So people are having to take a little bit of a loss, right? When this isn't like a market crash, it's, maybe a little bit of a correction, maybe, but it just, there's less competition. So you are, as the buyer, have a little bit more negotiation room if the seller needs to sell. If they don't, they're not going to, right? So he said, boom, number one, good thing that you're looking for deals right now, because not a lot of people are. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what happens with the presidency, waiting to see what happens with interest rates, waiting to see what happens with the economy and the world, global, whatever, right? So he said, good for you. And then I said, and this might be more important. I'm glad you guys made it with me so far. This might be more important to you guys who are looking to get into real estate right now. So one, now is a good time to buy. You have less competition. You can always refi. You can battle a little bit on the purchase price now. You weren't able to do that 6 months, a year ago. Maybe a year ago, right? It's been about 6 months. The second piece of information, I said, Mr. Diamond, I said, sir, how would you today, right now, with the current situation that we're facing, if you were in my position, being in your early 30s, you have a couple properties, what would you do? What would you suggest? And he said, you're doing exactly what you should be doing, Brandon. He said, you want to buy small properties like duplexes, like triplexes, like fourplexes. They're easier to get into. The financing is better. You have less competition, right? Because you're not fighting mom and dad homeowner. None of those people want to be landlords. And you're not fighting Mr. Diamond. You're not fighting Grant Cardone. You're not fighting these hedge funds. You're not fighting BlackRock, right? If you're staying 50 units and less, two units to 50, maybe 30, right? 2 to 30. If you're in that range, the people that can afford to battle with you is just small. There's just not that many people, right? The big guys are big, the little guys are little, right? There's a bunch of people who are looking to get their start, right? So 2 to 4 units is competitive, right? And I'm sure Mr. Diamond hasn't bought a fourplex in the last 50 years, right? But he understands that you need to get in somehow. And 2 to 4 doors is the way to do it. And then I said, okay, I got a couple of those and I'm trying to scale. What do I do? And he said, what you have to do is you have to trade your equity. You have to sell those properties. Ooh, that is a dumpster fire if I've ever seen one. Ugh. Just driving around Portland. What you have to do is you have to trade your equity. And what he means is you have to sell the properties. You have to 1031 them. You have to. He said, every time I sell, for the last 50 years we've been in business, and I don't know if he got some of this from his dad or whatever. I don't think he's, that old. I don't think he's in his 80s, but he's an older guy. He said, you always 1031. You never want to pay taxes. Any chance you can avoid it, never pay taxes. That stills your wealth. And he said, always do the 1031 exchange. And he didn't say that they're easy, right? You have certain requirements you need to meet, and they may take it away at some point. You never know. Which is kind of hard for me. Like I knew that, but it's just the properties I have, the cash flow, the equity position, the debt that I have on them is so good for what they are that it's really hard for me to think of that. But I mean, I my net worth is pretty decent, and if I added a couple more properties, waited another couple more years, I probably could sell them all off within a year's period of time, or sell them to one person who's willing to buy my portfolio, right? Like, let's say I got 5-7 properties. He's willing to buy all of them or a chunk of them, and then I can make that one transaction and 1031 that money, right? Like, I mean, it's really difficult to put 20% down of $5 million unless you're just trading your equity, right? And I wish I could pull up on my calculator. I don't know what 25% of $5 million is. I suck at math. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's say you need 500,000 or something like that. Maybe it's a $500,000 or whatever the actual number is, right? You guys with a calculator, roast me in the comments. But once you have that in equity, all you do is trade it. So I could go from 5 smaller properties into 1 bigger property. Okay, what can I get with $5 million, right? If I'm putting 20% down, what can I get for $5 million? Well, I mean, depends where you go, right? Obviously, in your neck of the woods, you might be able to get a 50-unit building. Over here, you might be able to get 10 to 20, right? So it all just depends. It all just depends what you're trying to do. And then, I mean, that's crazy, right? You could go from 5 units to 20, right? You could 4x the amount of property that you own just by this one move. And imagine that this guy who's just super well off says, yeah, just keep doing that. Keep doing that. keep, doubling up, tripling, quadrupling, right? Go from 5 to 20, from 20 to 50 to 50 to 100, right? You know what I mean? Just keep doing that. And I know that, and I think that is the right answer. And I've just never, visualized what that would look like with my properties and with what I would do and how I would handle it. So I learned a very valuable lesson that, that's probably what I want to do. If I want to scale, if I truly want to scale and that's what I want to do, then I'm probably going to have to sell these properties at some point. So I just wanted to make this video. I'm going to give it a really cool title, 7 minutes with 70 million in assets, something like that, something really cool. Hopefully it's clickbaity and catchy enough where a bunch of people watch it. Okay, you guys. Well, hey, thanks so much. I appreciate it. We're going to go keep on knocking on some doors. Obviously not as intellectually stimulating, but there's people who are going to lose their property. They are going to lose their equity. And, it's important that they know their options so they don't just give it back to the bank or give it to the government for free, right? I'm not saying I'm doing anything spectacular here, and I'm assuming people do know that they have options, but at some point, and a lot of people do this, they'll get past the 30 day mark, right? Their head's in the sand, and they'll be 30 days into 30 days less, that they have to stop the foreclosure, and at that point they can't list with an agent anymore, right? And no agent can get the property on the market fast enough and get it closed fast enough to help those people. Which is an option, right? If you have 90 days or more, that might be an option. It still may not sell, and you may still need to sell to a cash buyer for a discount, but at least you can say you tried. Anyways, another topic, I'm going to stick with that, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. Today is Sunday. It is 12/14, and, it's a good day to get rich. Bye.